Rotten Tomatoes has removed the audience score from its Acolyte page. Or at least that's what people would have you believe. If you're watching Twitter and you're all over there, you're seeing people be upset and saying that Rotten Tomatoes has somehow deceived everyone and changed the game. Now we don't get a voice. The audience no longer gets a voice, and we can never trust Rotten Tomatoes ever again, like they were trustworthy to begin with. Now, I'm not here to defend Rotten Tomatoes. I'm not here to say that they should be what you listen to when it comes to understanding whether or not you're going to like a show or dislike a show, but I want to at least make sure we get the facts correct. So what has really happened? This is episode 1 of The Acolyte, season 1, episode 1, and you can see the review for this show only is showing the critic score. It is not showing the audience score. But that isn't the full story. If we go to episode 2, same thing. Episode 8 doesn't have anything yet because it's not here. Most recent episode was episode 6, again only showing the critic score. Is this a problem? What if we click on Ahsoka down here? Let's take a look at Ahsoka. The audience score is still here on the seasons page, but if we click on seasons, go to details, and once we go to the specific episodes, click on episodes. Look how many clicks I have to do. Let's look at episode 1 of Ahsoka. Oh, there is no longer an audience score. What about House of the Dragon, the HBO Max series? Let's take a look at that. You go to the regular page. Here it is, audience score 87. Click on seasons, go to season 2. That's where we are right now. Click on episodes. And now look, episode 1, season 2. They have 100% critic score, but there is no audience score. However, if we go back away from here to the seasons page, it still shows the audience score. Let's go to the Acolyte. The audience score is still there. Now, to say that somehow this is Disney or big companies trying to remove the voice of the people, no, what they're doing is taking away the audience score from the episodes. I would love to hear the reasoning behind this because I still don't like it. I think that there can be good episodes and bad episodes in a season, and that is fair to be reflected in the audience score as well as the critic score. If you're going to take away scoring or ratings on episodes, but leave the critics' ratings and not the audience ratings, that doesn't make sense. There's no reason to take away one and leave the other, but yet you leave the audience score here on the seasons page. Either take it all away or leave it. It doesn't make sense. But to say that Rotten Tomatoes is somehow censoring the people, that we don't get a say any longer, that's kind of misleading. Now, I will say, I wish you could review the episodes. There are some episodes that are better than others, and I think it's a problem if you're going to have a site that is around trying to bring together the reviews of what people actually think, but that's not what Rotten Tomatoes is. We know that's not what Rotten Tomatoes is. We know, based on the scandals that have come in the past, that Rotten Tomatoes isn't very reliable, and we shouldn't necessarily be looking to Rotten Tomatoes to see what we like or don't like about a show. Yeah, you might get something from the critic score, might tell you, oh, maybe that movie isn't that great, but truthfully, there's tons of content that I've enjoyed that critics have not. The critics aren't everything. Same with audience score. Just because an audience likes or doesn't like something doesn't mean that I won't like that thing. Let's not create an outrage culture around everything like the world is ending. I would love to hear the reasoning of why that's changed, but let's also be clear. They've left the audience score as is on the main page for the season. And they've not just done this to Disney, but this is across the board for TV shows as this episodic release schedule happens and every single episode. Now let's take a look at some other TV shows. We took a look at one. Let's take a look at some other TV shows and see if that's the case. See, when we hop over to Rings of Power, same thing. There's a tomato meter score here of the critics, but there is no audience score. But yet, if you go back to the seasons page, where the main people will go. Like, you have to get so many clicks down into the episodes that whenever you search something, this is still the score you see at the beginning. This is still the score that pops up for most people. So even if you're looking for this Acolyte or you're looking for any other show, until you go episode by episode, which you have to do multiple clicks. So let's just count, right? I'm here at the homepage of the Acolyte, still showing 14%. I can't even click on episodes here. I have to click on seasons, and then it takes me down here. I have to click on details. That's 2. Then I have to click on episodes, that's 3, and then I have to click on which episode I want, that's 4. 4 clicks in, if I can click, 4 clicks in to get to that episode page. That's interesting, there's not anything here on The Bear. That's season 3, episode 1. What if we go to another episode? There's no rating here for any of the episodes in The Bear. And there, The Boys, not there either. And there's no rating here for any of for anything. Let's calm down a little bit. I would love to hear why it's been taken off of each episode for basically the entire site, because movies aren't that way. Movies, you don't need episodes. Movies, you have the audience score and the critic score. The thing is done, and then you move on. Whereas TV shows, it's a little bit different. And episodes, your perspective might change over time as more episodes come out. And so, episode 1 might not be as great standalone, but when you take it into the whole spectrum of the show, episode 1 might really actually be really good because it's setting up what's happening later in the show. That's very possible. All that said, Rotten Tomatoes shouldn't be your only source. At the end of the day, it is quite suspicious that the score has been moved off of episodes, and there still seems to be a few shows as you click through that still have the score on episodes. Now, I'll be really interested to see if there is a reason given for why this shift, why away from the episode score as well as the season score. Were they all being tabulated into one score? That kind of doesn't quite make sense if that's the case, because you could actually have a show that has one really good episode, but the rest of the show is garbage, and that could inflate then the audience score on the seasons page. So were they separate? Now are they just deleted? Really, we're not quite sure what's happened, and I'm gonna wait and find out before I pass too much judgment. But at least they have not taken it away from the seasons page. You have to go a few layers deep into the episodes to even find it. But even with that being the case, can we all agree that Rotten Tomatoes is not the end-all be-all? Watch a show, whether you like it or don't like it, then voice your own opinion, and let's just move on from there. And no matter what you do, just remember at the end of the day, Rotten Tomatoes doesn't really matter.